Third thing I want to talk about a little is design. We've designed something wonderful for your hand.
Were the words of the late Steve Jobs when he unveiled the first iPhone, and it was. I mean, people have forgotten that before this day in 2007, the standard smartphone display was 2 inches diagonal and mostly horizontal. Here was Apple, completely new to the smartphone world with a massive 3.5-inch display at the time, and does away with all but one physical button. The formula worked. It changed the entire smartphone industry, and it remained the iPhone's display up until Steve died. He never got to see Apple join competitors and adopt taller displays with the iPhone 5, or build phablets with the 6 Plus. And yet, it seems that Apple never really forgot the roots of wonderful for your hand. Both iterations of the iPhone SE were all about serving this premise, but I think neither did as good a job as what we have now. This is the iPhone 12 mini, proof that Apple does prototyping early because we've been covering rumors of this phone for years. We seriously thought that this was going to be the iPhone SE 2, but instead we got something else entirely. I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow, and this is our review of the iPhone 12 mini, sponsored by Subcase. Let's be real, a lot of you have complained about the lack of small flagships. It's as if the requirement to get the best hardware is if you're willing to juggle with the size or heft. Sony abandoned the compact, and even Apple's own iPhone SE 2020 got larger. This is actually the last knight in shining armor for those of you looking for a compact flagship, but honestly, size is just part of the story, so let me begin telling you what I like about this phone. For starters, I'm going to call this a crazy feat in engineering because this is not a watered-down iPhone. Every single feature that Apple offered with the iPhone 12 is available here on a smaller package. That means that we have the same matte aluminum flat design, same reflective back with a frosted camera module, same exact thickness. It's just 14mm shorter, 5mm narrower, and a whopping 29 grams lighter than the regular 12. It is a joy to hold and use in one hand. That said, I know this blue is Apple's flagship color. I'm still trying to have it grow on me. I wish I would have picked green or red, which I find to be far more elegant. Same OLED Super Retina XDR, but on a smaller 5.4-inch footprint, with the same HDR10 and Dolby Vision certifications, a slight cut in resolution, though with a better pixel density given the size. Same ceramic shield protection, and a shocking set of dual-firing speakers in tow for its size. Highlight work on the Microsoft Office suite. What's even more impressive is that there's no penalty in the internals. We have Apple's latest 5nm A14 Bionic with the same RAM and storage configurations as the 12, and this is the smallest phone capable of sub-6 and millimeter wave 5G. We also have Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5, IP68 rating, and sure, a few obvious reductions in battery size and charging speeds, but which I'd call logical given the reduced proportions. Just keep in mind, Ceramic Shield actually only protects the front. Any cracks to the back will cost you an insane amount of money. My advice, get yourself a case, and channel sponsor Subcase has you covered. Those of you looking for the full rugged experience, there's the award-winning UB Pro, made of a high-quality hard polycarbonate and shock-absorbing TPU. You get all the texture and grip you need, along with a 20-foot drop resistance. I doubt you'll find a better quality solution that includes a kickstand and a belt holster for just $20 on Amazon. And if you want to retain the design aesthetics but include 15-foot certified drop resistance by Met Labs, my new favorite is the UB Style Clear. It looks minimalistic, but it's actually a scratch-resistant TPU bumper with raised bezels to avoid any scratches. Simply search for iPhone 12 case by Subcase on Amazon to find all their options, or follow the links that we have in the description that'll lead you directly to them. Now back to the Mini, I also don't think there is a phone of this size with such a complete camera system. Somehow Apple was able to cram the same exact hardware as the 12 on such a small chassis and provide the same exact results. This iPhone 12 lineup has proven that Apple has been working hard on their software processing. The results are more balanced, less dramatic photos that are more eye-pleasing and easier to edit in post. switch to the ultra-wide to get more in the shot with less distortion, the primary for better performance, and I'd safely zoom to 2x even for social media shots. The software is that good. I just won't recommend you go all the way to 5x digital. What I've learned though is that Apple's night mode isn't as versatile. The primary will definitely get some great photos in hardly lit situations, but the ultra-wide will still struggle with a fair bit of grain, and the selfie camera will try hard, but it will struggle the darker it gets. That said, iPhones have provided my favorite selfies and portraits of the year. Deep Fusion literally owns skin tones and handles separation in smarter ways than competitors, though yeah, beautification is totally part of the deal, even if Apple hasn't said anything. Now, the most important reason you want an iPhone in your pocket is video. No other smartphone is this good unless it's another iPhone with great color dynamic range and stabilization. It's seriously a phone I'd recommend to anyone for their most precious memories, so long as you disable HDR settings. That'll spare you a ton of drama in editing. And the same thing happens with selfie video, which I can blindly recommend for vlogging so long as you're not picky about great results in low light, as even a regular DSLR with an expensive lens would struggle with that. That's just physics. But don't worry, this is not a fanboy piece. I know that a lot of people have expressed love for this phone, and I get it. It is a breath of fresh air in a sea of phablets. But sadly, it's not a perfect device. There are a few reasons why I'm mixed, and it has a lot to do with the fact that as much as I want to love this phone, I can't. And seriously, iPhone 12 mini, it's not you. It's me. The first is actually this display. Yes, it's technically not that much smaller than the former 11 Pro, but it's small enough to remind me that I need reading glasses. Sure, you can adjust the text and stuff, but I think the problem is deeper. See, when the first iPhone was launched, and even when we had the iPhone 5, content consumption wasn't what it is today. I seriously struggle watching a video on this phone, even in landscape. Essentials like the camera viewfinder or the aspect ratio of photos can tend to make content feel crammed. And since we're talking constraints, 64 gigs of base storage in 2020 for this price is really hard to swallow as well. There's also the topic of proportions. Since this is the same Face ID module as every other iPhone, well, they should have just made this a full top visor with how much it takes up space from the top. If only this side antenna band was a fingerprint scanner at a time when the entire Face ID module is useless if you have to wear a mask. And, well, then there's the other issue where size does matter, because endurance on this phone is okay, but it's definitely not what I'd call great. I was seriously expecting it to be worse given the support for 5G, but nope. It's impressive that this phone can almost last a day without a problem. Sadly, if wireless charging is your thing, this would also be the only time that I'd recommend the MagSafe adapter, as vertical wireless chargers don't play well with how small this phone is. If anything, I'd say that iOS 14 was definitely designed with this screen real estate in mind, because a lot of the UI elements continue being at the top. My biggest problem is that what we should embrace most right now are the new widgets, for example, and even that feels crammed because of the lack of proportions. To conclude, in all fairness, notice that there is nothing that I don't really like about this phone, and the reasons why I'm mixed have more to do with me and my personal taste than anything. I'm sure that 5 years ago I would have loved an iPhone this small with an edge-to-edge panel that was this powerful. I'm sure a year ago having Face ID taking up the screen wouldn't have bothered anyone wearing a mask. I'm also sure that if battery technology would have evolved by now, having a small phone would not include any sort of tax. I repeated the word shocked a lot in this video, and I feel it has a lot to do with just how foreign it feels to have a flagship this small today. I think Apple's decision to provide choice without meaningful compromise is most important. You're no longer forced to pay lots of money to get a flagship iPhone. You're no longer forced to get a watered-down special edition to get a small iPhone. You're also no longer forced to choose features over comfort. I have no problem in recommending the iPhone 12 mini, but I do encourage you to consider paying the minor price difference to get more storage and spare yourself the drama in the future. That said, I will admit this is not my favorite iPhone, and again, little guy, it's not you, it's me. You're crazy convenient, but I feel that 2020 demands a lot more screen real estate. Expect my review for my favorite pick coming very soon. Let us know what you think about the iPhone 12 mini in the comments down below, and while you're at it, follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. Also follow me on my personal handles to see me wish I got reading glasses before I made this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.